A lot of people assume the garden starts winding down in August, but that is not really the case. August can be a bit like a second spring. Plant these 15 vegetables over the next couple of weeks, and you could still be picking fresh produce long after your neighbors have packed up for the season. Hi, I am Babaj. I used to think August meant the gardening year was pretty much over, so I would leave empty spaces in my beds and miss out on weeks of fresh food. Then I found out which quick-growing, cool-weather vegetables actually do well when they are planted later in the year. Now I am harvesting well into autumn, and I am going to show you which crops made the biggest difference, even if we are starting from scratch. The biggest mistake gardeners make in August is looking at the calendar rather than working back from their first likely frost. By that, I simply mean the point in autumn when your area usually starts getting overnight frosts. It is only an estimate, of course, but it gives you a useful idea of how many growing weeks you have probably got left. Your garden is not finished. In many parts of the country, there is still a good chunk of the growing season to go. Your warm weather crops may be slowing down, but the cooler weather crops are just getting started. Vegetables such as spinach, kale, carrots, beetroot, and radish often grow better as the temperature begins to drop. Some can cope with a light frost, and a few even taste sweeter after a cold spell. But before you plant anything, you need to work out how much growing time you actually have. First, look up the average date of the first autumn frost in your area. Then check the seed packet to see how many days the crop normally takes to mature. The basic calculation is first frost date minus the days to maturity equals your final planting date. So, let us say your average first frost is around 20 October, and you want to grow a radish at X 25 days to mature. Count back 25 days, and that brings you to 25 September. However, plants tend to grow more slowly as the days get shorter, so it is sensible to allow another 10 to 14 days whenever possible. That means sowing those radishes around the middle of September would give you a much safer window. And one thing to watch for: the number on a broccoli or cabbage label may start from the day the young plant is planted out, rather than the day the seed was originally sown. That is why buying young plants can save you valuable time in August. Right? Let us get into the 15 vegetables, starting with the quickest ones first. 1. Radishes. Radishes are one of the quickest wins you can get from an August garden. Some varieties can go from seed to harvest in just 20 to 30 days. Sow the seeds directly, about ½ an inch deep. Keep the soil moist and thin out the seedlings so each root has enough space to develop. Radishes prefer cooler conditions, so they often grow better once the late summer heat starts to ease. For a steady supply, sow a short row every couple of weeks instead of using the whole packet at once. You could be harvesting your first batch before some of the slower vegetables on this list have really got going. 2. Rocket is another great choice when you want something that grows quickly. You can often start harvesting the baby leaves in about 3 to 4 weeks. Sow the seeds quite shallowly, keep the soil damp, and begin picking the outside leaves once they are large enough to eat. Young rocket has a milder flavor. As the leaves mature, that peppery taste becomes stronger. If August is still particularly hot where you are, give it a bit of shade during the afternoon. It is a simple thing, but it can help keep the leaves tender and reduce the chance of the plant flowering too soon. 3. Spinach. Spinach really likes the conditions that arrive once summer begins to cool down. You can usually start picking baby leaves in around 20 to 30 days, while larger leaves may take closer to 40 or 50 days. Sow the seeds about ½ an inch deep and keep the soil consistently moist. In warmer parts of the country, choose a spot with some afternoon shade and look for a variety described as slow to bolt. Spinach does not enjoy hot soil, but once the weather cools, it can become one of the most productive crops in your autumn garden. 4. Lettuce. You do not need to wait months for a full head of lettuce. Loose-leaf varieties allow you to start picking baby leaves in around 3 to 4 weeks. Just take the outside leaves and leave the center of the plant intact so it can carry on producing. Lettuce seeds need light to germinate, so press them gently onto moist soil rather than burying them deeply. Working with a small garden, lettuce is ideal for shallow containers, window boxes, and those little gaps between larger plants. Keep it cool, keep it watered, and you can get several harvests from the same plants. 5. Pak choy grows quickly, and you have got 2 different ways to harvest it. You can pick it young as baby pak choy, often in around 30 days, or leave it for a few more weeks and allow it to form a larger plant. Sow the seeds shallowly, thin the seedlings so they are not overcrowded, and keep the soil evenly moist. Pak choy prefers cooler conditions, which is why sowing it in August can work so well. It gets started while the weather is still warm, then develops as the temperature becomes more comfortable. Later in the video, I will explain why sowing it into hot, dry soil is one of the easiest ways to lose the crop before it is properly got started. 6. Turnips. Turnips basically give you 2 vegetables from one plant. You can pick the leafy tops while they are still young and leave the roots in the ground to carry on developing. Leaves may be ready in around 30 days, while the roots usually take somewhere between 40 and 60 days. Sow turnips directly, because root vegetables generally do not like being transplanted. And make sure you thin them out early. Crowded turnips can produce plenty of leaves, but very small roots, which is a bit disappointing unless the leaves were what you wanted in the first place. 7. Mustard greens. Mustard greens are quick, productive, and full of flavor. The young leaves can often be harvested within a month. Sow the seeds directly, then either pick the outside leaves individually or cut the young plants as baby leaves. They prefer rich soil, so adding some well-rotted garden compost before planting can make a noticeable difference. The flavor can be quite sharp during warm weather, but as the temperature drops, the leaves often become milder and sweeter. Mustard grows quickly, so this is another crop you can sow more than once during the autumn. 8. Kale. Kale is one of the toughest vegetables on this list. You can start harvesting baby leaves fairly quickly, while mature plants may continue producing through late autumn and even into winter in milder areas. Plant the seeds about 1/4 inch deep. Once the plants are established, pick the lower leaves first and leave the growing center alone. Kale can cope with cold weather that would finish off a lot of other vegetables. A light frost may even improve the flavor because the plant converts some of its spored starch into sugar. So, while your summer crops are starting to slow down, kale is really just getting going. 9. Beetroot. Beetroot is another crop that gives you both edible leaves and edible roots. You can take a few young leaves while the roots continue developing below the soil. Many varieties will produce mature roots in roughly 50 to 60 days. Each beetroot seed can produce more than 1 seedling, so thinning is especially important. Give the roots enough space to grow and use the seedlings you remove as baby leaves rather than throwing them away. Beetroot can tolerate partial shade and light frost, but it does need consistent moisture. If the soil becomes very dry and is then suddenly soaked, the roots can develop unevenly or lose quality. 10. Carrots. Carrots take a little longer, but August can still be a good time to sow a quick maturing variety. Plant them directly where you want them to grow, because transplanting can damage the roots and leave you with some very oddly shaped carrots. Carrot seeds can take anywhere from 10 to 20 days to appear, and this is where a lot of gardeners lose them. The surface of the soil dries out before the seeds have had enough time to germinate. Water the row before sowing. Cover the seeds lightly and keep the area consistently moist. One useful trick is to place a board over the row. This shades the soil and helps hold in moisture. Just check underneath it every day and remove it as soon as you see the first seedlings appearing. It might look a little strange, but it can make carrot germination much more reliable during warm weather. 11. Peas prefer cool weather, but they still need enough time to establish themselves before the harder frosts arrive. Choose a quick growing variety and make sure you have got roughly 2 months before the first hard frost is likely. Sow the seeds directly and give them a small support or trellis, even if you are growing a compact variety. Keeping the vines off the ground improves airflow and makes the pods much easier to spot. If August is particularly hot, wait until the worst of the heat has passed or give the planting areas some shade during the warmest part of the day. Peas may start slowly in warm soil, but they can pick up once the nights begin to cool down. 12. Broccoli. For broccoli, young plants are usually the safer option in August. Starting with an established plant saves you several weeks and gives the crop more time to form ahead before winter arrives. Broccoli likes fertile soil, regular moisture, and cooler temperatures. Give each plant enough space, because overcrowded broccoli tends to produce smaller heads and will not get as much airflow. Once you harvest the main head, do not pull out the whole plant. Many varieties will produce smaller side shoots, which can extend the harvest. That is one of the reasons a single broccoli plant can give you more food than you might expect. 13. Cabbage. Cabbage is another crop where using young plants can give you a real advantage. Look for compact or quick maturing varieties, especially if your first frost is not too far away. Cabbage needs rich soil and regular feeding because it is quite a hungry plant. Keep the soil moist while the head is forming. Irregular watering can slow the plant down or cause mature heads to split. Cabbage handles cool conditions and light frost well, but it still needs enough time to grow. Before buying, check whether the days to maturity on the label begin from the planting out date. You do not want to get to October and realize you have chosen a cabbage that will not be ready until Christmas. 14. Spring onions. Spring onions take up very little room, so you can tuck them around the edges of your beds. You can grow them from seed, onion sets, or even the rooted ends of shop-bought spring onions. The young green tops may be ready to use in as little as 3 to 4 weeks. They can tolerate partial shade and grow well in containers, so they are useful when the rest of the garden is already feeling a bit crowded. You can harvest the whole plant or cut some of the green growth and allow it to grow back. This is an easy crop to plant in small batches, so you have always got some fresh onion flavor available. 15. Garlic greens. The final crop is garlic greens. Now, this is not the same as growing full garlic bulbs, which are usually planted later in the autumn in many areas. Instead, plant individual cloves for their tender green shoots. Put each clove into the soil with the pointed end facing upwards, water it, and harvest the green growth once it is large enough to use. The shoots have a mild garlic flavor and work well in eggs, soups, salads, and sauces. You can grow them in a garden bed or a container, and they are a useful way to get a quick harvest while you wait for the right time to plant garlic for full bulbs. The 3 reasons August planting fails. So, now you know what you can plant. But there are 3 simple mistakes that can stop these crops before they have had a chance to get going. Mistake 1. The soil is too hot. Cool weather seeds can struggle to germinate in hot August soil. Try sowing in the evening, water the soil before planting, and use temporary shade during the hottest part of the day. For slower germinating crops such as carrots, shading the row can help keep the soil cooler and more evenly moist. Mistake 2. The seeds dry out. Newly planted seeds only have access to moisture close to the surface. Just one hot afternoon can dry out that top layer of soil and interrupt germination. Check it every day and water gently whenever the surface begins to dry. Once the seedlings are established, add a light layer of mulch around them. Mulch helps hold in moisture, reduce weeds, and regulate the temperature around the roots. Mistake 3. The plant's bolting is what happens when a plant becomes stressed and starts producing flowers and seeds instead of the leaves or roots you were hoping to harvest. Heat, dry soil, and long days can all encourage it. Choose varieties described as slow to bolt if the plants some afternoon shade during hot weather and keep the soil evenly moist. It also helps to harvest leafy crops while they are still young and sow small batches over several weeks instead of relying on one large sowing. So, your August garden is not finished. You now know how to work out the growing time you have left, which 15 vegetables you can still plant, and how to protect them from hot soil, inconsistent watering, and bolting. Even if you only plant a few of these, you could still be harvesting fresh vegetables long after your neighbors have cleared their beds for the year. For more simple seasonal gardening guides, subscribe to the channel and do not put those seed packets away just yet.